Yo, is that dude getting his meat sucked in broad daylight? What the f? It's not every day we see a video game get adapted into an anime, and seldom do we see it be any good.
Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut.
You say to me?
They usually lack a few core elements that made the game fun in the first place, and Cyberpunk Edgerunners doesn't break that mold. It absolutely blows it away. Woo! Let's kill these motherfuckers! But let's take a few steps back and talk about Cyberpunk 2077, the buggy ass game it's based on. Back in 2013, CD Projekt Red released the trailer teasing the new Cyberpunk game, hyping millions of people up with never before seen graphics and a storyline that mere mortals couldn't even fathom. But those fools didn't even realize they were getting hyped almost 8 years too early. The game was advertised to come out when it's ready, and as we all know now, that was a fucking lie. In 2018, the company released 48 minutes of unedited gameplay. Gameplay that looked so amazing, fanboys were nutting themselves in awe. That gameplay was also a fucking lie. Then in 2019, they held an event with the most uncancelable man the internet knew of, Keanu Reeves. That charismatic bastard promoted the shit out of Cyberpunk, adding not only hype to the game, but also memes to the internet.
What makes someone a criminal? Getting caught.
In that same event, CD Projekt Red would make a decision that would end up becoming a fatal mistake. They changed the release date from when it's ready to April 16, 2020. Oh, but what's this? CD Projekt Red released a statement a few months later stating the game is being pushed back to September 17, 2020. Okay, you know what, that's fair. These things happen, as long as the game runs well and is completely playable. Shortly following that announcement were figures of Keanu Reeves, Cyberpunk themed headsets and other goodies, limited edition Xboxes, and millions of people ate that shit up as pre-orders came flooding in with all the hype accumulating to that date. A few months go by and what do you know, another statement is released saying the game is being pushed back again. Now fans are starting to get worried at this point, but it should be okay, right? I mean, they pushed it back twice, so everything should be fixed and there shouldn't be any more delays, right? At this point, the game had been delayed 3 times and everyone was getting pissed. Thousands of people were demanding refunds, hate threads were circulating the internet, death threats were being sent to the company, all over this one game.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
Pressured by the anger of fans, CD Projekt Red decided that instead of delaying the game any further, December 10, 2020 was going to be the official release date. That would prove later to be a huge blunder on their end. On the day of release, the devs crossed their fingers and toes in hopes that people could play through the game without running into too many issues. That apparently was too much to ask for, and clips like this spread like wildfire. Cyberpunk became the laughingstock of the entire world, and CD Projekt Red knew they had to do something about it, so they released a patch.
And then it just crashes.
They somehow made the game go from glitchy to straight up unplayable for some people, and after selling 13 million copies of the game in the first 4 weeks, I think it's fair to say that Cyberpunk 2077 is probably the most famous example of a launch day failure. Haters thought nothing could make anyone change their minds about this buggy ass game. That is, until the anime came out. Studio Trigger and CD Projekt Red saw something in the vast world of Cyberpunk and thought they could come up with another story to take place. So they came together and decided to create Cyberpunk Edgerunners. The anime felt like it came out of nowhere. It kinda just got dropped on anime fans like the sudden realization your dad isn't coming home after going out to buy milk for 15 years. And holy shit was it amazing. The world of Night City needs no introduction. The colorful neon lights illuminating the city and hobos are enough to know what's going on. There's garbage everywhere except the trash cans, graffiti sprayed on every inch of every wall, the smell of piss permeating through the air. But you can feel that there's a hope among its population. A hope that even with all the odds stacked against you, it's still possible to reach the top. David Martinez is just a kid attending a prestigious academy despite his mom being low income. David's a good kid with straight A's and has the brains to make it big. But Night City is a place where being in the wrong place at the wrong time can mean everything being stolen from you in an instant. His mom died after an accident because she didn't have the premium health insurance. David gets fed up with the pressures of being broke, so he decides it's Chrome time and gets a piece of military-grade hardware installed into his spine. From then on, he resorts to a life of crime, meeting Lucy and her gang in the process. He joins their crew, running missions and doing jobs together in hopes of one day making it to the top. Now, I'm gonna be honest, we weren't planning on watching this anime because neither of us played the game, but as it turns out, you don't have to. Sure, you'll miss some small details like places or important characters making brief cameos, but overall, it doesn't take anything away from the experience. You can tell that Studio Trigger put passion into Cyberpunk Edgerunners, and it is by far one of their best works yet. You get blown away as you watch people get blown away. Bodies get torn and ripped apart with splatters of red flying all over the place. There's guns being fired, explosions, discomfort in almost every scene.
And in the midst of all this, a story is being told.
Now, I've seen some comments saying that 10 episodes was too short or the story felt rushed, but I completely disagree. I think the anime was just really dense, and although the pacing of the story felt fast, to me, that's how fast the pacing should have been. As the viewer, the only time you got to relax and breathe was the beginning, but after episode 3, things just kept happening one after another. You could never really catch your breath, even after the last episode, and I think that's the whole point. Even with the shorter episode count, I didn't feel like I was missing anything at all. The story, soundtrack, world building, everything just comes together to bring the anime to life. And I didn't even mention the best part yet, the characters. You have David, Lucy, Maine, Kiwi, Doc, Falco, Faraday, Rebecca. I just listed a few characters off the top of my head, but in the short amount of time you saw these characters on the screen, they've already left an impression on you. Every character looks unique and all the personalities feel fleshed out, proving that you don't need to spend hours of lore and backstory in order to remember their name. There's always that one character that rubbed you the wrong way and you can never really seem to like. But Cyberpunk does this thing where they make all the members of the gang likable, even if you're a little sussy baka and don't want to admit it. You wouldn't realize how much you cared for them until they were already gone, and when it finally hit you, you get this tight feeling in your chest, and you scramble to figure out where it even came from. But then you see the impact that it has on the family, and then it dawns upon you. You miss them. You never wanted to let go of any of the characters, you wanted to see all of them make it by the end of the show, but you knew it was never going to be like that. There's always this bitter feeling knowing that the show must go on without a character that's been there from the start, but by the time you reach the end, the feeling goes from bitter to bittersweet. They're not there anymore, but at least someone made it. It's been a while since I felt this empty after watching an incredible anime, and I hate this feeling. I hate it so much, but that's how you know you experienced something great. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is the result of a team getting together and getting the resources they need to create a piece of art. This is what freedom of creativity and pure passion looks like. This is what anime was always meant to be. So please, do yourself a favor and take some time out of your day to watch this wonderful story. It's worth it, trust me.
So